And with 15 minutes after 8, you're welcome to the relationship segment. It's a Friday. So now you're a lady, and at least once a month, you dress up to attend a friend's wedding. On your return, the question always is, when will others also attend your wedding? Your family always reminds you that you are over 30 and not growing any younger. They want you to bring a man home and introduce him to them. People tell you the older you get, the less attractive you become for men. But do women have expiry dates for marriage? That's the question we want to address this morning. I will open the phone lines 0302-211-69102 later on. But my guest is Apostle John Kofi Abri, who's a head pastor, Divine Builders Bible Church, and also the executive director, Holistic Care Consult. But please don't call the phone lines yet. I will tell you when the lines are activated. Apostle is also a marriage counselor. So good morning to you. Thank you for your time today.
Good morning. You're welcome.
How often do you get young women complaining or being worried about the fact that they are getting older and they need to get married? Do people come forward to say those things at all?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So how would they typically put it?
You know, at a certain age, especially when you are crossing the 30 bar, become worried and concerned. That's why I used to tell young and upgrowing ladies that marriage is a journey. Don't wait until you are 30 years before you become concerned and worried about marriage.
But is it a good thing to be worried about marriage? Is it something that you have to be worried about?
In our cultural context, it is, because people are putting pressure on you here and there. Friends and family all together are telling you, when are you bringing the man home? So it becomes a worry and a concern.
So what do you do? I mean, do you start looking for a guy at some point in your life?
You know, the moment you close the 18 years, you start planning towards your marriage.
Really? Isn't that a bit too early? I mean, you're thinking about your career.
I'm talking about marriage as a journey. You don't just enter into a man's life and start marrying the man. There's what you call story formation. His story, your story, our story. So together. So since it's a journey, the kind of people you marry belong to a circle. So as you start your life from 18 years, the friends you keep at school, in the environment, in the community, they are the kind of people you marry eventually. So start building relationship, start building friendship. So that at the time you want to marry, they have not left you behind.
But is it a big deal that you're 30 and you're not married?
Worldwide, averagely, women get married before 32 years. So if you are crossing 30 and 32 and you are not married, thinking about Africa, where in the moment you get married, they are expecting a baby. So you want to have children. And medically, if you cross 35, it becomes a problem. So if you are not getting married 30, 32, when are you going to start getting children?
But is marriage for everybody?
It's not for everybody, though, because marriage is not everything in life. You can be what you want to be without marriage.
I like that a lot. Okay. But I can decide not to want marriage.
You know, the Bible says it is not good for a man to be alone, although many people have interpreted to be marriage contest. But in life, you need someone in life to confide in, to relate to hug, to share your fears with, to share your worries with, to share your concern with. You have no one, no father, no mother, no uncle, no friend. That was very bad. And marriage brings people together to share intimacy.
You know, sometimes I think that the church also indirectly puts pressure on young women, especially because, you know, you attend somebody's wedding and the pastor says, you know, as if you're not married, then God cannot bless you.
It's unfortunate the church is doing that, but I used to say marriage is not everything, because marriage is not for heaven, it's for this earth. You are not taking marriage beyond. So I won't allow marriage to hinder my heaven going, although it's necessary as a human being to get someone you can share your concerns with.
So if a young lady, you know, came to you and said that my parents are putting a lot of pressure on me, I am also worried that I may not be married anytime soon, what would you tell such a person?
Age is not a factor when you are talking about marriage, but maturity. But the culture we are living in is such that when you are growing up, your parents become concerned, because for this time, and even in biblical times, it's the responsibility of parents to go about searching for would-be partners for their children. And even though we have come to a modern age and we assume children are of age, they can go about searching for their own partners, yet parents still have the concern and they assume the responsibility that they can't sit down for you to grow up to a time when no one is coming for you. So you have to share a little concern. So it is out of love and concern.
But which one is that nobody's coming for you? I mean, should somebody come for you? Can't you also go forward to someone?
In our culture, no. You know, some people say, I'm waiting for God. A lady came to me, I asked her, when are you getting married? I said, I'm waiting for God. So how will you know if God has left you behind? Because the time you should be thinking about marriage, we are pursuing career, you're pursuing this and that. And now God has left you behind. You have to double up and catch up with God.
Is it a wrong thing if you decide that you want to pay a lot more attention to your career for a while before you think marriage?
That's what I'm saying. Marriage is a journey. Career will not hinder marriage, and marriage will not hinder career. It goes along simultaneously.
So I think that perhaps you've answered that question, but is there an expiry date for marriage?
That's
for a man or a woman? Because I think you've talked more about a woman.
That's why I said age is not a factor in marriage. But averagely, many people get married from 22 to 32 all over the world.
Do we still get the same pressure that is directed at women on men?
Oh, of course. But men, it's easy for a man to pick up a lady to marry.
Oh, why do you put it that way? It's easy for a man to pick up a woman to marry.
No, you know what? When you are 30 and above, men will not easily come to you to pick you up. Men want to marry those who they are older than. And so they want to look at somebody who is below 30 years, because man will look at the health of the person and how agile she is. Especially men are given to sex, so they want a woman who can really satisfy them. So if you are growing beyond 30, 35, they think, what can this woman do?
Okay. But, you know, the point is, if you're in a relationship with someone,
yes,
or like you said, keep friends around you and develop relationships so that it will be easy. If nobody is coming forward from those friendships that you have developed over the period, how do you get any one of them to pay attention to you?
Why is nobody coming along around you? I used to ask them a question, because if what you can give to a man is only your body, they don't worth your salt. They want to see what is inside you. When men come around, what type of conversation do you engage them with? They want to see the kind of woman you are. What is behind your beauty? So if you are there, no man is coming around, it means there's something with you, around you, that is not enticing them or inviting them.
So what do you have to change for them?
That's why I said that you have to build relationship along the way. You know, especially.
But you see, my fear, as you build relationship along the way, my fear is that you may end up being friends with those people, and all they think about is friendship and not anything marriage. That is also very possible.
Maybe you are not well informed as to the way to build a relationship. But if you build your relationship well, the man will get to know the kind of woman you are. And at the time they want to marry, they want to pick you.
Okay. So you give us some tips as to how to develop a proper relationship that will possibly lead to marriage.
No, everyone has his own idiosyncrasies, your likes and dislikes. And when you are entering into a relationship, they want to see how mature you are. And when I talk about maturity, I'm talking about it from 4 angles: spiritual maturity, mental maturity, physical maturity, and social maturity.
Okay.
So when the man comes to your life and you are building relationship along these lines. Spiritually, how matured are you? Physically, socially, and all that. So you look at all these areas in building relationship.
So these things will exhibit, you know, how would they come out?
Like, I see you today, you look like a beautiful lady. But behind your beauty, who are you? So as I engage in conversation and along the line, I want to know the kind of lady you are. And that will inform me as to whether you can be the kind of person I like. That's why I say everyone has their own identity crisis. So the kind of person I like, because I have a standard. If along the way I realize, even though you are beautiful, but you're not my
I'm empty.
You're empty.
Okay. There are times that, you know, guys want to have conversations along political lines, sometimes on economic issues. If you're not into all those things, I mean, there are people who are naturally not into such conversations. They don't know what's happening with the country. What they're interested in is girly stuff.
You dance to everything without compromising. That's to say that you can't say, I'm not interested. If your guy is interested in politics, why not grow to have interest in? Because you want to have a relationship.
So are we always, as women, are we always doing things to please men? Is that it?
Not exactly. Be yourself. But at least there should be a compromise here and there. If I realize that, oh, my lady likes watching TV, I want to grow, at least compromise a little.
Because, you know, through all this conversation, what I'm getting is you are trying to stand out in a way, it may not be intentionally, but you're trying to be yourself so that a man can see you and like you and say that that is my type.
Okay.
Is that what is supposed to be?
No, life is not about living to please others, but living to please God and yourself and fulfilling a goal in life.
But eventually it's a guy that will pick you out.
But
I think that's my issue.
Listen, the Bible says, I'll make and help meet for. I want to see the kind of lady you are. Are you qualified to be fit into my life to help me achieve my goal in life? No, I come into your life. I want to see whether you are a goal-oriented person or you are just there because you are beautiful, want to give your body to me. Because sex is just nothing if there's no deep relationship.
Can it be the other way around, or as traditional people, it's a man that marries a woman?
I was handling a case, even from the religious background, when a lady supposedly saw God's will, that's the man I want to marry, and later on, the pastor, because she was of age, because in that church, if you are more than 30 years, you have seen God's will, they want to advise you to go for it, tell the man. And the lady went and told the man, and they got married. After more than 10 years, the man was insulting the lady that, you came for me, I didn't come for you. So the lady came to me and said, if the man said you came for him, then go back and let the man come for you.
Like how? Leave the marriage?
No, I was just trouble her. But yeah, there should be a separation. The man should come to understand that you worth your salt. Not that you were fed up with love, that's why you came after her, after him. Because the pastor said you should go, that's why you went. But just that, it's nothing. Me coming after you is nothing. It doesn't reduce my dignity. I'm still a woman.
If you're dating a guy and he hasn't posed the question yet, I mean, he hasn't even given you any indication that he wants marriage, how can you start that conversation with him? You know, can you say, so when are we getting married? Are we ever getting married? What are your plans?
I always say that there should be a third person always in a relationship, someone you respect, someone you can go to.
Don't they rather say, don't get third parties involved?
I'm talking about a counselor, a mature person, someone you can confide in a relationship, someone the two of you can honor, can respect, can obey.
But normally when you're dating someone, you hardly would see a counselor until the issue of marriage comes in.
And that's why we are missing the puberty right, which we have avoided. would inform the ladies from 13, 12 years going, so they become aware of all that they need to do should a man come forward. But now we are missing it, and the church is not teaching the members. So that's why the ladies are left behind.
So what's the ideal thing? What should be happening?
I normally advise people that if you enter into a relationship, seek a counselor. See someone you can confide in and tell him or her your fears, your worries, your concern. And let there be that story formation. Get to understand a man. Let a man get to understand you. Read about marriage. Because marriage is not, if you will go to school to learn how to do this and that and that, and marriage is for life, why can't you also learn? And most of these ladies are not learning, they are not reading. And the kind of books they are reading is not informing them enough to know how to enter into a man. Because
a lot of people are watching soap operas. Sorry, just go on.
No, I understand. Understand. So that's it. So, I mean, you can easily win a heart of a man if you understand what it takes to win a heart of a man.
Can you do that without cooking for the man, washing for him, going to his house? Is that possible?
We don't need to do that. What I'm saying is, every man coming to your life want to know the kind of a woman you are without cooking for the man. Because, you know, from the Asiatic point of view, they marry to love. We love to marry. So there's no divorce with them. Because just as you are, I'm married to love you. So as the years go by, I develop love for you.
Are those things really real?
It's happening in the Asiatic world.
Because if you didn't love someone, I mean, what could make you love them later on in life?
What is your definition of love?
You tell me.
Now, when you're talking about love, the kind of love that will take you to marriage is unconditional love. If you understand unconditional love, you will not base it on likes and dislikes, beauty, blah, 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 but just how the person...
Couldn't you end up as roommates instead of husband and wife? And normal friends?
Why do you want to end up in that way?
I'm worried that if you went into it from the beginning, not because of love, then you might end up just as...
That's why I say we
housemates.
have not come to understand the definition of love. It can be infatuation, some passion, some likeness, deep likeness. It might not be love, but if it is deep love, by the time you start relating to one another, you come to understand that, no, I can live with this man. Like today, I don't know you, but the moment I come in contact with you and we start talking, I realize, no, this lady, I can grow with her. I can live with her. We can have some things together. We can share some things together.
Okay, so you can?
That's about life. Oh, for me as a married counselor, with my background, there's no individual I cannot relate with.
Okay. Okay.
No matter what.
So I see that women are compromising a lot. How about the men?
Well. Women, unfortunately, in this kind of world we are living in, they cannot go forward. And if you cannot go forward, you have to compromise for the man to come and pick you up. It's unfortunate, though. What do? You want to marry. Pressures are being raised on you to marry. What do? You have to compromise. And what do you lose by compromising if you get your man? You lose nothing. Except what you are compromising is off. It's make it dishumanizing you, reduce your dignity. If not, why not?
Ideally, how long should you be in a relationship for before the issue of marriage or before you settle down?
It depends on the maturity of the two of you. Two individuals came to a counselor, say, we want to marry in 2 months' time. So no problem. Because with counseling, proper counseling, you don't give time frame. Look at the two people coming to marry. The counselor said, no problem, I'll get you to marry. But let's hear your stories. By the time they told their stories and the council started harmonizing their stories, it lasted for 2 years before they got married.
Okay. Do we do the same thing here? Because it's sometimes it's strict. You have to do 6 months or 3 months, and then it really doesn't matter if things came out that you have to have enough time to deal with. It looks like it's a done deal even before it started. So the counseling is just a certain process that you have to go through before the church will bless your marriage.
It's unfortunate because as a pastor for more than 3 decades, I've realized that most church counseling are not taken over by real counselors. The fact that we are pastor does not mean that we are married counselor. And
because some of you pastors also have issues in your marriages.
Of course. No one is perfect. No marriage is perfect. But the fact that I'm not perfect does not mean I cannot advise you. At least you can learn from my mistakes.
Is it a good thing to look up to the pastor every time?
Not exactly.
But why do you pastors also put pressure on young people to be married, to be married, to be married?
What I'm saying that is the background of the pastor. The fact that the person is a pastor does not mean he knows all.
Which means you don't do that.
Is that?
You don't do that?
Not exactly. It depends on the kind of person I'm dealing with. I was surprised when I was in US and I asked one lady, "Are you married?" The lady became angry. I said, "Why do you ask me that question?" Because marriage is not an issue. But over here, the culture has made it possible. The moment I see you growing up, when are you going to greet me with your husband? That's bad though. But it shows a concern, because the ladies, if you don't show concern, they think you don't love them. You are not for their welfare. So that's why pastors do that. Because if you are there, you are coming to the church, and there's no time the pastor will call you and say, "Oh, how about your marriage?" You interpret it to me that my pastor is not showing concern. Sometimes you do that.
But the point is, most of you churches are concentrating on expanding the church. And once there are a lot more people in the church, you have very little time for the members. Because then you can't make phone calls and say, "Oh, these guys got married 6 months ago. Let me check on them and see how they're doing." You miss those little things.
And that's unfortunate. That's why we are looking at a church giving a holistic care to the members. Like with my marriage counseling, even when you are married, after the wedding, I give 1 year post-wedding counseling. I still monitor the marriage to see how you are making it up.
But is it safe for the pastor to be in your business all the time?
Not exactly. You know, counseling is not mandatory. You have to go for it. So the pastor should bring himself in such a way that he'll be accommodating for you to come. It's not mandatory.
Is it true though that we always look for counselors when there are issues? What's your experience? Do people just come forward when nothing is happening?
And that's why we are trying to introduce that you shouldn't wait for a problem before you go in for counseling. Like at least there is somebody in your marriage who is a marriage counselor, that once in a while he comes around to know what is going on. You're educated, you're informed. As a childbirth, many things. Because many people enter into marriage, they know next to nothing about what it is to have a good home. And the pastor should be there for them. And it shouldn't be the pastor alone. Like in my marriage counseling, I don't only counsel them, I train them out to be counselors. So in future, they can also help other married couples.
All right, at this point, let me just open the line so that you can join in the conversations. If there's something bothering you on this issue that we're talking about, age and marriage, give us a call, 0302-211-69102. It's 0302-211-69102. Let's see how best we can help you. But if there's a lot of pressure coming, you sense that there's a lot of pressure coming, what should you do so that you don't become frustrated in the process?
You shouldn't wait to the time they put pressure on you. But when there's pressure on you, relax, be yourself, and consult someone.
Do you move out of the house, for instance?
That would also be the problem. It will solve a problem for a while. You face issues, you don't avoid them.
Okay. And Sarah, you have to speak again because I didn't hear you. I have Della joining us from Nkoko. And sorry, Sarah is my director. I speak to her every now and then. All right, Della, good morning. You're on air. Thank you for your call.
Good morning. How are you?
I am very well by His grace.
And thanks for the program. I would like to ask a question.
Yes, go ahead, Dela. We can hear you.
I celebrated my sister's birthday on June 4th, and I'm not dating and I'm not married. I don't have my parents to pressure me. Should it be a worry to me?
Did you get the last question? Dela, you'll have to please go repeat the question. Hello,
I'm
Dela.
just saying that, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm saying that I'm 31 years. I'm not dating. I don't have my parents to pressure me around to get married. And at the end, I want to ask if should it be a worry to me?
Okay, but do you have a problem with that yourself?
Sometimes it get me scared because, fortunately, my parents gave birth to us early. So when they were no more alive, we were able to take care of ourselves. I would have loved to have something like that. That is why. So sometimes it scares me.
Okay, but is it your choice that you're not dating? Is it because you haven't found the person, or you think you're not ready for that?
I have met one or two, but sometimes you look for something special and you are not getting it. Just something a little bit extra.
Okay.
And you are that special thing that will turn you, or your mind will blow your mind away, and you're not getting it. So you're kind of calm and laid back. That is it.
All right, Dela. Let me ask the apostle. Maybe he's got some answers for you. But I think before you even touch on that, let me speak to someone else, and then you can handle the two. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Hassan. Do I have Hassan on?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Hassan,
Yes,
please
Hassan.
go ahead. Yeah, sure.
In fact, I like your show. It's very educational, especially this time of the program. Family issue. But what is always baffling my mind is, what is the reason for, like we in the development or the African setting trying always have to get married early. They give an age limit. By this time you should get married, or like a lady or a man. If you get a job, you should be married. I don't know what is the reason for that. Because the wives, for instance, someone is just concentrated on his career. If a relationship comes, you have fun and that ends it. But with us, when you get a job, they expect that. Why not married yet?
So are you married? Are you getting that pressure too?
Not in the lighter sense, but not in the pressure from home as serious as that. But on the lighter sense, your friends ask you, we are in a wedding ceremony, and they ask you, when is yours coming out?
I see that,
just for the fun.
Okay,
but not
sure.
That
All right. Hassan, we appreciate your call. Thank you. Okay, so Dela raised that issue.
Okay, Dela, it's not about searching for the perfect person, but becoming the perfect man. Now, normally we set high standards, which you yourself we are not meeting. I want this kind of person, but you are not the kind of person. So what is your standard in life? Is it realistic? That's the question I want to ask you, because you should not just set standards. You have reason for setting standards. Because maybe Dela is not well informed as to the kind of woman that will help him. That's why you need to understand what it takes. Because his type of temperament, what kind of woman will fit into the type of temperament. And if you may not know, you think this woman will be, but that may not be so. So you need to understand himself first.
Okay.
Because in premarital counseling, it said, we help you to understand yourself and understand your partner.
Okay.
So if you don't understand yourself, you cannot understand the other person. So I want to understand Dela. Does he really know himself, the kind of person he is, and what kind of woman will fit into his life to make a living? If he doesn't, he needs to learn.
And that's an excellent question that you're asking. I think it's very important. How well do you know yourself? Just Dela, pick a paper and a pen, make a list, and then you can arrive at some conclusions. But let me speak to John. He's calling from Hohoi. Hello, John. Good morning.
Good morning, madam.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your call. You're on air.
Please, the I want to ask is, when you are in a relationship, is it a responsibility for only the guy to call the lady?
Is it a responsibility for only the guy to do what?
To call the lady.
To call the lady, as in a phone call?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so what's your problem? Is that what you're doing?
No, but I just want to know.
You just want to know. Okay, you like I don't understand. I hear you, John. Thank you. All right, I'll speak to Sandra. Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning.
Yes, Sandy, you're on air.
Please, I actually want to ask if it is necessary for you to date a guy.
If it's
for
necessary,
a long time,
okay.
For a long time before you get into marriage.
Okay, so for a long time, that will be how many years you're talking about?
Let's say about 3 years or 4 years.
Okay, is it necessary to date a guy for 3 or 4 years before you get married?
Please, yes.
Okay, all right, Sandra, thank you. Apostle would give
Sandra, you cannot know the man outside the man. No amount of years would we stay outside the man to know the man until you enter into the life of the man. So I'm not looking at the years, but how the relationship is kept, how mature the two of you are, is the key. So it's not a matter of this and then look at the man who asks. Is it mandatory? Is it always the fact that the man should be calling the lady? When people come to me, I want to test whether they are having real love or infatuation. That's what to say. A lady was in a relationship with a man. The man saw the lady chat with another man. The man became angry and said, I'm no longer interested in you. The lady came to me crying and said, listen, I have what you call with or without principle. Without the man you can live. With him you can live. Why do you behave as if without the man you cannot live? And when I started building the woman up, she became matured. The next time the man called her and said, why do you want me to see you? The type of question the woman started asking the man. The man said, where have you gone? Because I don't know you to be asking some questions.
You've changed.
You've changed. So it's not a matter of calling. If you cannot stay for 1 day, for 1 week, without calling the lady, then there's a question mark somewhere, because you have lived your life without this lady for about 20 years. The lady came into your life just 1 week, and every day you want to call the lady. Why?
But if the person is not calling back, and you are the only person...
I mean, if it is a matter of just calling, and that is what you are using as a test of a good relationship, then that's bad, because you have lived your life without calling that lady. You can stay for 1 month without calling one another. Okay. As to who will call and who will respond is not the issue, but the fact that you are talking. You are talking. You are talking.
All right. Saeed, good morning. Thanks for your call. You're on air now.
Morning.
Yes, Saeed, I can hear you.
Yeah, I've been married for 10 years now and there's no child.
Saeed, you would have to reposition yourself. We can't really hear you.
Okay. I mean, I'm married for 10 years now.
Okay.
And there's no child. However, I'm not all that disturbed for now.
Okay, you said there is... You've been married for 10 years and there's pressure.
Yeah.
Okay, coming from where?
From Nkwanta, Rosa.
Okay, as in pressure on you to do what exactly? To marry another woman?
Yeah.
Why?
Okay, so there's no issue.
Oh, okay. Okay. But what do you think? What do you think about that? Because definitely you're working on it.
Yeah. I want to accept the thing from my parents and add another woman. But the first woman is also not ready to accept any other aspect.
All right, Saeed, I'll tell you what to do, because your line is very bad, but this issue is one that you really need help on. Just call the number right after 9 a.m. Just dial the number again. I'll be expecting your call, and then I'll hand you over to our marriage counselor now, who will help you. Let me skip that and go to Amel. Amel, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Mama.
Thank you for holding.
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Yeah, for me, I think the pastor is full of wisdom there. He's hitting the whole thing on point. To me, for one thing, maybe I'll have to retrace as he's been doing there. You realize the core of it, I think, it's just to be you. And what do you want, actually? What are your values? You know, as you demonstrate that, you attract people that you deserve. Just be natural. I don't think it should be under compulsion. And maybe now I have to go for marriage. If it happens that way, I'm not sure you're going to be yourself and be natural. And if you step out that this is the time I want to marry, and now I must marry, or people are telling me I should marry now, kind of pretense are likely to set in. So, as you rightly put it, it should be you. What do you believe in? Who are you? As you know that, you exhibit you. And you attract to yourself the right people. I think we have to be natural and authentic.
Okay.
Then
All
we
right.
get what
Okay. And you're on points there too, Amaya. Thank you so much. Okay,
we
so
may need again there.
Say again?
You may need a pastor again for the show.
Okay.
He's full of wisdom, actually.
All right, Amaya. Thank you. I hear you.
Thank you.
All right. So to wrap it all up, and I don't want you to touch on Said because I think it's a good thing if we do it one-on-one. So I'll ask Said to call back right after 9 a.m. Okay. So wrapping this all up with the comments that have come through.
Okay. I want to say marriage is a journey. And I used to tell people the moment you clock 18 and they say you are mature and you are mature enough to vote, you have to start planning towards your marriage.
That's tough, but I'll take it.
You know, when we are not of age, so to say, 25 and thereabout, and people are talking about marriage, close our ears to it, but that's bad. When you go to the library, the books of the library, don't push them aside. Even though you don't need them now, you keep them there. At the time you need them, you go for them. So when people are talking about marriage, listen to it. Because it's unfortunate you marry your wife the way your father married your mother. And you married your husband the way your mother married your father. And they made mistakes because people say experience is the best teacher. But I used to say evaluated experience is the best teacher. You may have stayed in marriage for 30 years. You have been doing the wrong thing all the time. So you are not experienced enough to share. And people tend to export what is within their marriage, even though it has not been evaluated. That's why in marriage counsel, you don't tell them what you would do, but what should be done in marriage. So in life, start being matured. And maturity, as I say, in 4 dimensions. Spiritually matured, in relationship with God. Physically, I mean, eat well, sleep well, exercise well. I mean,
and look good.
And look good. Because people want to marry and want to take you out. Men want to take their ladies out. Ladies want to take their men out. But if you are somebody who can't take you out, who want to come and marry you?
Okay, so spiritual, physical,
and socially,
emotional,
know how to relate to people. And mentally, I mean, they show some sort of intellect, knowledge, understanding, wisdom within you. When I come to you now, I engage in conversation and say, oh, this woman is of her sort.
All right. So, like Amaya requested, I think we will bring you back.
You're welcome.
We'll tell you when, but Apostle Kofi Abri, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
All right. We'll come back and talk multi-TV. The clinic is closer to you. We'll tell you where the bus is stopping this time around. Stay with us.